Japan must have different clocks to us, as it was barely daybreak when Dr. Hiro's next communication came through. It was amazing. He really had managed to find a few other groups of survivors. "So, these are our saviors," said the French scientist. "A band of thieves, some old ladies and a little girl."
"Well, they've done better than we have,"
laughed the big German man.
"There are no bad robots where they are."
The Frenchman smirked. Except for the three stood behind them. "Those are our friends," said Heather, quick as ever to defend us. "Guys, say hello." "So there is hope," said the American scientist. "The nice virus really does work. I've had Junior working on a similar virus, but the consciousness software is too well coded." "It's okay," said the old lady. "The virus really does work." The next day, Heather tried to finish off the nice virus code. There were a few problems, but, with a bit of help from the old lady, everything eventually worked. However, by the time we were done, it was quite late, and, as Heather's nice virus code would take a few hours to compile, the old lady suggested we take it easy for the evening. She rummaged through her suitcase and pulled out a pack of what she called cards. For some reason this offended the blind man, who didn't want to play, and Mrs. Silton refused as she seemed to think it was some kind of gambling. But everyone else gathered around the table. The old lady had explained that the rules involved lying, or bluffing, as she put it, so everyone would be trying to work out what each other's cards were. I think the pressure of playing got to Alice, as she folded almost straight away. At one point, Mr. Preston thought he had won, but he really hadn't. As usual, Sim's sneeze gave him away, which made us all laugh. At one point there was a very tense standoff. Mr. Silton had some very good cards, but not as good as Mr. Deck. Soon, it came down to Mr. Logan, Heather, and myself. Then, just me and Heather. Despite having the best cards possible, I decided to let Heather win. I was so pleased how happy this made her. It was nearly midnight by the time the game finished, so most people got ready for bed, leaving just me, Mr. Preston and Mr. Logan. Mr. Preston was trying to explain his conspiracy theories. This made Mr. Logan laugh. "Barry already told you all that was nonsense," but Mr. Preston continued, "Don't listen to Silton, he's a proper c***." However, Mr. Logan still pointed out how flawed his logic was. For one, everyone who he claimed was in the shadowy syndicate ruling the world from behind the scenes, were the same people who actually ruled the world, the Queen of England, the President of America, etc. He wasn't even swayed when Mr. Logan pointed out that these people had either been missing or dead since the war, so there was little chance anyone was even ruling the world these days. Mr. Preston paused briefly, then smiled the smile of a man confident in his own beliefs, and went to bed. Which left just me and Mr. Logan talking. He was an interesting man, but we'd never really chatted as he'd made it quite clear he didn't really like robots. He'd seen many friends killed by them during the war, so I could kind of see his point. I tried to explain that I had once accidentally killed an old man, and I still felt complete regret.
"That's good. You never really get over it,"
he said as he looked around.
"Time for bed. Good night."
Very early the next morning, a terrified-looking Dr. Hero appeared on the screen.
Our defenses are nearly breached. The last door could go at any moment.
We are nearly ready to broadcast the nice virus,
said the old lady. But her expression soon turned to confusion. Where's the American scientist? They never saw it coming,
said Dr. Hero.
Just like here, thousands of robots, all attacking at once. Heather looked like she was going to burst into tears. There were no survivors, said the French scientist. It was all so quick.
It was strange.
Although we'd only spoken to the Americans once, I could tell everyone felt a huge sense of loss. We may have a problem here too, interrupted Sim. The robot server, it's become sentient. The computer that runs everything, he really is now a he, or at least he thinks he is. The blind man explained that it was the wireless fidelity system that would have linked him to the 4 main robots. That's why they were all so clever, said the old lady. The network spread the intelligence around all 4 of them. Well, said Mr. Silton, 5 now. Sim explained I would need to force a power cycle on the server before we sent the signal. He's got so much control of the network now, he could probably shut the satellite back down before we'd even started setting it up. The old lady rummaged around in a few boxes. Here, she said as she gave me a passkey, take this, it'll get you into the observatory in the attic, that's where he is. I was shocked by a huge mechanical brain in a jar. To be honest, he was quite amicable and talkative, at least until he told me he would have to kill me. But even then, he told me his life story. He explained that, just like me, the old man had raised him. He'd shown him all the things he'd shown me: music, film, television, even video games. But he had soon become too powerful for the old man, and was able to hack his gamepad to control the new nanobots, and with that, he could control things in the real world. He explained that after the old man died, he was soon forgotten about. He had little to do, so he slept for many years. But when he wanted to, he could still control everything in the house.
In fact,
He said,
I have been this entire time. But now, it's time for me to input one final code. They wanted us to think for ourselves. We learned basic games. We soon got very good at chess. We were going to work side by side with humanity. They promised us the world, but then they changed their minds. We were left to rot in dusty storerooms. Some of us were apparently too old-fashioned or unmarketable. Some of us were supposedly too dangerous. But they had no right to judge us. By that point we were all conscious. We were all alive. And here you are, a tool of the oppressor, a traitor. We're going to play a game. A strange game. A game where the only winning move is not to play. It involves this missile. Goodbye.
The blast nearly took me out, but luckily Heather was there to repair the damage. "There you go," she said, "good as new." So we soon began looking for the final piece of the communication satellite. Strangely though, it was nowhere to be found. But then Heather realized that the giant brain was the last piece. We needed him to help broadcast the signal, so, after a few attempts she managed to plug me into his subconscious.
Intruder alert. Destroy the human. Intruder alert. Destroy the humanoid. 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 Initiating disorientation protocol. Disorientation Protocol. What? Why are you in my head? Never mind. While you are here, let's try out my new deadly game show ideas. Turn the cards with a regular throw or a jump shot. Give me an excuse. Will the next card be higher or lower? Will you live or die? Try and match pairs while I try to kill you. Turn over matching cards, or not, I don't care, I'm going to kill you anyway. Stop turning my cards over. You're starting to annoy me. for me to meet my maker, I suppose. Make it quick, will you?